If you're working on a book or any other kind of creative project, there are parts of the process that are so much fun, where you feel really productive. You're excited about new ideas, connections are happening in your mind, and you're just in the flow. And then, of course, there are other times where it's a struggle, where it's really frustrating, and you're wondering how to move forward. Well, first thing I want to say is that's true for everyone everywhere. It's been studied scientifically. And that's why this week I want to talk about how creativity is cyclic. So, there are metaphors for the cyclic nature of creativity, of course, in spirituality, in nature, the moon cycles. And so, because this week, at least the week I'm producing this video, is the new moon, I want to talk about how the cycles of the moon match the cycles of the creative flow state. So there's been so many studies on creative flow and how it can make you more productive and just have a more enjoyable time with the creative process. And I also want to match that to the phases of the moon. So 4 phases of flow and 4 phases of the moon. So let's start out with the new moon. In flow science, this is called the struggle phase. It's where you're just starting out with a new idea. You're pulling in a lot of information. You might be doing a lot of reading. You might be doing a lot of scribbling on paper, but the ideas aren't gelling yet. They're not quite making sense. This is natural and it's normal. It's good to approach the struggle phase, the new moon phase, with curiosity and playfulness. But the fact is, if you're feeling a little frustrated, that's okay, because that signals to the brain that this is important, that you really want to do this. So the new moon phase in flow science is the struggle phase. You're bringing in new ideas. You're trying to understand stuff. It's the beginning of a project. The next phase, I'm going to call it the waxing moon phase. In flow science, it is the release phase. I like to call it the marination phase. So this is where, after you've struggled with a problem a little bit, you give it over to your subconscious mind to play with. Your subconscious mind can solve problems so much more quickly with more neurological resources, and you don't have the problems anymore. So after you've gone to the struggle phase, you want to do something completely different. Spend time with your family, play a game that just takes your mind off the project. So first struggle with the problem, then do something that focuses your conscious mind on something so completely different that the frustration you had with solving the problem then signals to the subconscious mind that this is important. Please figure it out for me because I can't do it on my own. So that's the second phase. In the moon phases, waxing moon. In flow science, release phase. Then we've got the full moon. And in flow science, this is the flow state. So this is when, after marination, after release, you go back to the project. So as you can see, in flow science, these 4 phases, the moon phases are a metaphor. This is not necessarily going to happen over a month. For me, any flow phase, really, as I've noticed, takes 3 to 5 days. Often I'll have a day where I'm really productive, and then it will be followed by a day where I just have to let things go and I have to let things marinate. So the flow phase is the classic euphoric state where you're into the project, you're making connections, ideas are just flowing, and it's wonderful. So that's the third state, the full new moon flow state. You're really putting your ideas and expressing yourself fully in the full moon. Now, the fourth phase is the one that we always want to skip over. The fact is, the waning moon is the recovery time of the flow state. So during the recovery time, the fact is, flow is neurologically very expensive. It takes a lot of hydration. It takes a lot of, neurochemicals. It takes a lot of nutrients to be in a stage of flow. It actually takes more nutrients, water, all of those things, than going for a really strenuous exercise. And so just like you need to recover after exercise, you also need to recover after a flow state. So this could happen within a day, this could happen within a week, this could happen with a month. We all have peak points in a project, and then we have other times where we need to recover, which brings us back to the new moon, and the cycle starts over again. So if you would like prompts to help get you going, especially in the new moon phase, because that's when I like to help the most, I have a Phases of the Moon packet workbook right down below. You can sign up and it'll be sent straight to your email. So I would love to support you on this. Every single Friday, I make a new video to help encourage you along the creative process. So subscribe to the channel. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now.